Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Find Out podcast. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to dive into a bunch of topics. We're going to talk a little bit about Mehdi Hasan's pretty awful experience on Jubilee. Some more talk about Epstein. Also, Trump threatening to arrest Obama for what? I'm not sure. But before we talk about all that garbage, we want to talk about something nice. When we started this podcast, we told everybody that our number one goal of doing this was impact. And I want to read to you why this show matters and why your support matters to this show. So this is a message that was sent in to Luke, but I'm going to read it on his behalf. And I want you to just hear, like, this is going to take a second, but just listen to the transformation of this person from when they first engaged with Luke to when they sent this note. I think it was yesterday. Yo, dude, last time we interacted, I was falling down the alt-right pipeline. Thankfully, I did the intellectual and emotional labor in order to unlearn all of the bigotry, hatred, and self-hatred I had and started educating myself and became more progressive. I just wanted to apologize, and I decided to follow you since you showed up on my For You page, since I've been interacting with more progressive content. This is why this shit matters, guys. Like, this person did a complete 180. It is possible. They are a young person. We're certainly not going to dox them, but they are a young person, but they changed. Like, this is why we keep talking about needing progressive media network. And it's not just talking to the people that we talk to all the time. Like, this shit shows up in other places, and it is so important. So, Luke, congratulations. You've changed the world. One down, just like 49 million to go.
Ridiculous amount.
Luke, you're a deeply emotional person. So when you read this, how did that feel?
No, mostly I just went back. I remembered the person, but I was curious if I could find the interaction, and I did. And it was not like, I'm sure people are imagining that I was, so kind and welcome to our tent. There was like 50 fucks and a lot of, insults. But that's a point that I have tried to make several times, where people accuse me of, like, okay, if you're going to be so harsh with them, you're never going to convince them. That's not fucking true. Sometimes when you're so goddamn deep in your own, circle, you don't understand anything, what's happening, until somebody slaps the shit out of you. And you go, oh, fuck. That's how I'm actually feeling. Which I think is what happened here.
And it might not be right away, right? Like, sometimes you put up that front. I mean, I've seen this so many times with guys, especially, I don't know, maybe everybody, but you're like, fuck you, don't fucking, and you're like,
don't tell me what to think.
Right. Fuck off, man. My dad's smarter than you. And then you go away for, because that's where it's coming from. And then you go away for 3 or 4 days or maybe a week or two, and you go, God damn it. Maybe I'm the problem. And then
3 months later, you're still thinking about what that person said, where it's like, oh, fuck, I can't believe that.
That shit works, dude. That's my strategy with anybody who's doing shit like on a cycle where I'm like, I got to stop this. I'm going to drop a fucking bomb on you. You're going to hate it. And then maybe within the next year, you'll come back and go, maybe there was something to it.
You don't even have to respond to me right now. I'm just going to say a bunch of things, and you're going to think about it later.
Yeah. Nobody's going to switch that second. They're going to be like, fuck this guy, dude.
No, you bristle and you immediately lock up.
Yeah. I struggle to think of one time that I like blew up on somebody and they came back to me and was like, you were right, dude. I don't think the way that I deliver things results in many conversions. But again, that's not what I'm here for.
I was going to say, I've had a number of people, like, I was bullied mercilessly in high school because I was a nerd. And I've had a number of people reach out since then, like, just out of the blue. And my wife's actually jealous. She's like, none of the people who are assholes to me have ever apologized to me. But I've had people reach out of the blue and be like, hey, I'm getting better. And I'm sorry, I was such an asshole like 22 years ago. And I'm like, no problem, dude.
That's nice. Did it happen really like while you got this following, or was it prior to you being?
Oh no! So how famous you are now?
No.
They're just they're worried about being fucking dragged.
Exactly.
Yeah, all the Todds and Brandons in red states need to watch out because I'm gonna call them out.
Fucking coming for you.
No, this is like genuine stuff before. It was just like a Facebook message out of the blue. People I hadn't talked to in 10, 15 years. So, people, it's like when you're laying in bed, you're thinking about that awkward fucking thing you did when you were in 4th grade. Like people ruminate, man. It's like Inception. You put an idea in somebody's head. You can't get that thing out. It's like a virus. That's where this comes from.
And there's all these like memes, right, where it's like it shows somebody like laying in bed at night and thinking about the cringe thing I did 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't like there is something in the human brain that like tells you, no, you were being an asshole or you being ridiculous.
Right.
But I think the exciting thing, well, about both of those, but Luke, on yours, is because we saw such a swing for young men in particular, swing to the right in November, and we can swing them back. Yeah. Like this is the thing, right? Like a lot of these people, as Luke has pointed out in the past, like they were voting on very little information. So there's a lot of opportunity here and a lot of positivity. And, that's why doing shows like Find Out are important, and supporting, content creators who are pushing messages to different demographics. So, but with that said, we're going to make Luke angry now.
Oh, God.
Because 5 minutes of Luke being happy is frankly too much.
That's it.
So it's way too much. So
5 smiles, now we're done.
Yeah. You got your 5 smile a minute. That's enough. So those of you who know, there is Mehdi Hasan, who used to have a show on MSNBC and now has started an online news journalism site called Zeteo, went on something called Jubilee. And Jubilee is meant to be a discussion of two groups of people on opposing sides of an issue. It's one expert with 20 young people. There's been a few of them this year that have made news, like Sam Cedar, who's a longtime podcaster, went on and did one in March. There was one where a physician went in and argued with anti-vax people. And both of those were mind-numbing because we heard what the right is saying about a lot of issues that are just nonsense. But this one took a turn much darker. And because Mehdi is, I think he's actually British born, but is a United States citizen now. Yep. Has a British accent. There was so much racism thrown in his face. People were saying things like, "You don't belong here. I don't want you here," directly to his face. And people were smiling when they said it. So the question is, and Luke is going to start, is platforming people like that a good idea to show people the type of awful people there are out there? Or is this a terrible idea? Luke, the floor is yours.
Quite frankly, if this is your first interaction with this kind of racism, you have led a sheltered life. Like that shit is everywhere. And if you fucking find it because of a YouTube video, I don't know what to tell you. But the way that the entertainment system fucking works with Jubilee is that inherently they get worse and worse. I mean, 6 months ago, they had a piece of shit on there who got up and said that he thought all trans people needed to be exterminated. Like, that's the fucking pipeline that we go down. And I can't understand the logic of trying to debate these people. People who get up there and say, yeah, I'm a fascist because I want an autocracy because I'm not one of the people that's going to get fucking hurt. And he looks at someone who has a different skin color at him as he's fucking saying it, and he smiles. And people think there's any fucking value in giving any credence or value to these people's fucking ideas, and it sickens me. And the thing about Jubilee is they get fucking paid to be there. Those pricks who get up there to say that shit get paid to be there. And they do it because they know that people are going to come to watch, because it's an intellectual blood sport to watch people who actually know what the fuck they're talking to Trump loving buckets of piss who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And yeah, it's fun to watch, but for fuck's sake, they're getting paid to do it. And it's even worse because that piece of shit who said that he was going to get he wanted an autocracy got fired, because I think that was his fucking plan the whole time. And he's made like 30 fucking grand now off of a GiveSendGo. And that is ridiculous to me. Like, we'll be lucky if that motherfucker's not making the Kyle Rittenhouse rounds in a year. And that is what the fuck happens when Jubilee does it. And I've heard from other people that went on it that they were led to understand a very different debate was going on. Like when Dr. Mike went on, he went on with the understanding that it was, anti-vax versus doctor, which was not the case. It was doctor versus people who hate doctors. Like, or Mehdi went on with like this, far right shit when it was really, you're up against a fascist. Like, that's they deliberately misinterpret who these people are debating because they know that there's no value in debating them if they're accurately portraying who they're talking to.
They amp it up too. I mean,
and they amp it up. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, they've gotten worse with that shit because, like, I had an old podcast with a guy who was one of the people on a Jubilee, and like that was with Destiny. It was Destiny's Jubilee.
Yep.
And that shit was way different than these. Like it was bad, but it was not like you watch it and you go, "Oh my god, America's falling apart." It was like, all right, I don't agree with most of these people. They're annoying as shit, but they're not fascists. They're just morons.
Well, that's the way it has to go, though. They have to get worse every time, or else people don't come back.
Right. We're on the 20th season of Jerry Springer right now. Like,
right? I mean, it's the age-old rule of how to make a
fucking-
sequel. You make the exact same thing again, but you have to make it a little worse every fucking time.
But more in every direction.
In every way, exactly.
Louder, crazier, more violence, more swearing, more nudity, like, and which is what this has turned into. I mean, and if it's for entertainment, that's one thing. But when it's literally just a mirror of what's happening to the country, they're fueling the pipeline. I mean, it's like that the Nazi girl that called the handicapped child the N-word multiple times
and got 600 fucking grand out of it.
Right.
Last I saw it was over 700,000. And the platform is designed for that. They're like, we were free speech, blah blah blah, and so they gravy train cash to fascists. That's what they should call it. It rhymes.
That's true.
GiveSendGo is better, I think.
GiveSendGo is nice.
I do like that. Yeah.
And so it's not, there's no good thing coming from this. We're not like having a healthy exchange of ideas and actually debating and allowing people to make their own decisions. Like we've gone past that point where it's this cult thing that's happening to the right is not penetrable with logic and like sane discourse. So now all we're doing is just saying like, hey, look, it's normal-ish. You maybe didn't know that your psychotic views were normal, but here's this cult that will accept you, and hey, they'll fund you if you get fired for being racist.
And he said in his fucking description, he was like, I got fired because I went online and said perfectly legal right-wing ideals. And it's like, that's not fucking normal shit, dude.
No.
And
so
like
he's not going
talking
to jail
about it like
for
it is a fucking problem.
Nobody said it was illegal.
I'm going to give you my hot take. I am actually very glad at what happened. I am
okay.
I hate Jubilee. I have always hated Jubilee. Like I research extremist organizations. I infiltrate extremist organizations. And I have been shouting from the fucking rooftops for like 5 years. Just on the extremism thing, not just the disinformation that gets people there. That's been like a 10-year fucking career. And nobody fucking listens to me. I have spent years and my whole team plus a community of independent researchers have been witnessing this shit and trying to raise it to the national conscience, and it hasn't. We've been fucking ignored. And it wasn't until Mehdi Hasan sat down and had racists say this shit directly to his face, and then it was posted on Jubilee, that I think millions of Americans came to realize, oh, this shit actually exists. I have been struggling for fucking years for people to take this shit seriously. I mean, I have been talking about how GiveSendGo needs to be crushed for 5+ fucking years. GiveSendGo right now is being used as the fundraising platform for swastika flying neo-Nazis. And like CNN, MSNBC, even Fox fucking News, like all of them should be pretty unified in being like, hey, what the fuck is this, right? Yeah. But we haven't had one commentator come on to any mainstream fucking cable news and say GiveSendGo needs to fucking go. It is a fascist organization legitimizing racism, bigotry, and violence.
And funding it.
And and until this fucking moment, nobody knew what the fuck GiveSendGo was. So nobody fucking cares.
Because you're this raises a good point, but like so people know what it is, and I'll try to describe it. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. They basically are GoFundMe for people who cannot qualify for underneath the terms of service for GoFundMe, which means fascists and Nazis and racists and all of these people. And GiveSendGo is just like, bring it on, guys.
Because we'll just take a little bit off the top.
It's just anarchy is all it is. I mean, it's like, it's just a lawless place where whoever wants to, like, I could go start a fundraiser there for any cause, and they, I'm sure, would let me in if I wanted to do a leftist, I don't know.
Rich, you're a white bearded straight dude. Of course they're going to let you
bring
in.
back Stalin. Like what I'm trying to think of, like, what would my GiveSendGo be? But So like that's the thing they're standing on, is like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and all of that. But but if it's going to be free, like if you're going to have that power, you also have the responsibility to defend it, and they can't. I mean, it's indefensible for 98% of people, or maybe 75% of people. But it's a good point. I'm glad we're having the conversation. I'm skeptical that it will affect the percentages.
No, I don't think it will either. But I do agree with Kris. Like, I think we have to not look through it the lens of like, oh, this is the average Republican, because it's not.
Right,
I mean,
right,
like the
right,
average
right.
Republican's not this person. And I think Jubilee tries to like sell it as like, look at what the average Republican thinks they're fucking crazy. It's like, that's not it. But this group is large and exists, and we don't hear a lot from them because the right has done a very good job of like trying to be like, those guys are nuts, don't worry about them, they're fucking crazy. Like, you know, we're still crazy, but we're not that crazy. And having that voice be so loud, they start to permeate together, and the right is going to have to do something about that, or they're fucked, because that's a really bad thing for their brand.
So the one thing I will say about that is that we have all known for 10 years, and if you've paid attention to Donald Trump before that, for 30 years, that Donald Trump is a racist.
Yep.
And he is racist. In the 1970s, the Trump organization wouldn't rent to black people, and they literally, if a person of color applied to be in one of their apartments, they would literally write the letter C on it. And C didn't stand for credit or cool. You know what it stood for. And he had to settle the lawsuit that the Nixon administration brought against him. In the 80s, there are videos of him talking horribly about Native Americans. Horribly. He did the Central Park Five guys who did not assault and murder somebody. He took out a full page ad calling for the death penalty. Yep. So while I agree,
birtherism, don't forget that.
Then the Barack Obama birtherism.
That's how he got his whole start.
Which is how
he's still doing it every fucking time he says Barack Hussein Obama. That's his fucking racism.
Right. Yeah. So my point on that though is like, while I believe that not all Republicans are racist, all people who voted for Donald Trump decided that racism wasn't a deal breaker. Right. And that's why when I want
to push back on that. I want to push back on that because like I agree with everything you said about Trump. Trump's unquestionably racist. But I think what Trump does so well, and he does it here the same way, is he walks this line where the average person who does not agree with our persuasion watches what he does and goes, it's nuanced, it's old school, like it's not, he doesn't see somebody, they don't see somebody going like, let me use the N-word freely, like that in their head. That is racism.
That's what racism is.
So they're defining it differently than the left
so
does.
The people
so
who,
when he
the
says,
people who, go ahead.
I was going to say, so when he says Kung Flu, they don't get that that's racist?
No, I think they think it's funny and not racist.
Okay, like, so in that case, the people either decided that racism wasn't a deal breaker, or they're too fucking stupid to know what racism actually is. That's not any goddamn better.
But it's not better, but it's a different thing. Like if they're too stupid, they're not aware, they're not making that decision. So the reason I'm pushing back on what you said, Tim, is not because I don't think they're sitting there going, racism doesn't matter to me. I think they're not seeing it because they're too dumb to see it.
Okay, so take that really fucking stupid person right there and have them watch the Jubilee video. And they watch that and they go, oh, okay, that's what we can say now. And that's the issue I have with Jubilee.
No, I agree with
exactly.
that.
They fucking so like inherently you get the millions of people that go, okay, that shit's real. And that's really valuable. It matters for people to be woken up. Yep. But at the same time, there's a non-insignificant number of people that go, oh, so that's what we get to do now. And that is the part that I have a big problem with.
I think you're right. I think it's segments though. Like there's that group, and there's also the group that watch that and go, "Ooh, shit! Whoops! I didn't realize it was this bad." Like I don't think it's like a giant majority on either side. I think there's people who would go, "Oh, this sounds great," and other people who would go, "Whoa, I didn't realize how fucking wrong I was." I think it's a mixed bag.
This is the reason why like Obama didn't meet with Kim Jong-un, right? And why we regularly, our presidents won't meet with tyrannical leaders, is because when you meet with somebody, you legitimize them.
Yep.
And there is something about humans where we have this ability to follow terrible people. And, you don't have to go that far back in history. You don't have to look past yesterday. People will follow terrible people for some reason because they're really charismatic or because they say things that they feel, and it's inexplicable. And so when you give those voices a platform, I mean, we all can call it platforming, but like it's the same thing that 50, 60, 70 years ago, it was our foreign policy, was you don't meet with these tyrants, because when you allow a photo of Kim Jong-un and Barack Obama together shaking hands or even standing in the same room, to some percent of the world and to the people of that country, it says these guys are on the same stage. They're literally on the same platform. They must be sort of equal.
They're on the same level.
Exactly. And then suddenly you can think, well, let's hear him out. Maybe this person has a good point. No, fascism doesn't have a good point. If you say, yeah, I'm a fascist, like, you deserve to be fired. You deserve all the natural consequences that come with it. And nobody should fucking agree with you. Full stop.
Are you
and to
suggesting...
the chuckle fuck? Oh, go ahead.
No, go, Luke, go.
And
You're
to
on.
the chuckle fuck that's in my comment section that was like, well, fascists suppress other ideas, because my video on the subject was that people should fucking stop watching it. This is the last one you should ever watch. But he goes, well, fascists suppress ideals. I'm not suppressing your right to fucking say it, but you should have to put your goddamn white hood back on and go back to your rally to say it, you piece of shit. It should not be put on a fucking YouTube channel for millions of people to see.
Well, let's not forget that businesses do not have to follow the First Amendment. That is a choice. That is a choice that they're making. It's not like you're like, well, there's nothing I could do about it. So gosh golly gee, like they're going to go raise all this money off this racist bullshit. They're doing this deliberately. And
well, you're trying to say that Luke isn't part of the deep state, and that when he says that people shouldn't watch something, that it's not an edict from the president's office.
Wait, Luke, are you part of the deep state?
I secretly am.
Wait,
yep.
Luke, is the Epstein list in your desk right there?
Yeah, I'm one of the influencers got copy.
Because it's not on Pam Dwandi's desk anymore. Somebody
it's
moved
on my desk now.
Yeah.
You know, the way I thought about it, just real quick, the other day I was like, well, I got to come up with a metaphor to use in a video. I haven't done it yet, but it's legal to ride your bike off of a cliff, but that doesn't mean you're not going to hit the rocks and explode into a splatter. Like, nobody's persecuting you, dude. You made a choice.
Just consequences,
and there are things that happen when you make choices, and like it's just, come on, personal responsibility. So, that's like the backbone of the Republican Party.
How do we balance these two things? Because I think Kris and Luke are both making very good points. One, that there is a segment of the population of the United States who is fucking asleep and is pretending like this isn't real. But then there's also the fascists who, like Luke said, that kid, or 22-year-old, whatever he is, knew when he went in there he was going to get fired, and he was going to go set up a thing, and he's going to make money because he wants to be the next Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, that's his exit strategy.
And this is the problem, right? How do you balance waking up millions of Americans who are pretending that this shit isn't real while also not giving these guys a path to financial freedom and doing more damage once they make all this money?
I ignore those folks.
So, well, Kris, go ahead.
Yeah, make fascists afraid again.
Yeah, I mean, veterans fighting fascism, right? Like, what my organizations impose costs on fascists, and what people need to understand is we're not suppressing anybody's ideas. We are imposing costs for causing real harms to people. Like Rich's example of riding a bike off a cliff. It's not riding a bike off a cliff. It's smoking a cigarette in a restaurant. You can feel free to smoke a fucking cigarette wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But if I go to a restaurant and you're smoking and puffing in my face, or if I'm on an airplane and you're puffing in my face, I should be allowed to fucking hit you because you're causing damage to my lungs. You could give me cancer. Yes. Right. And that is what fascism is. It is an inherently harmful idea. It is different from believing the earth is flat. You're not going to kill anybody because you believe the earth is flat. But when you believe that Mehdi Hasan should not be allowed in the United States, when you believe that migrants who've literally fucking walked hundreds of miles across deserts, who've been exploited by fucking coyotes to get across the fucking border, that they should go spend the rest of their lives in a fucking prison branded as a terrorist because they were literally like the guy mowing your lawn, right? That's the kinds of fucking jobs that they're able to get when they get here. That is an inherently harmful fucking idea. And we as Americans need to get used to the idea of, if someone's hurting you, you fucking hurt them back. You go on offense. You don't just fucking say, oh, that's scary. Oh, that's fucking mean. You go and make their life hell. So this particular guy, this fucking fascist who's got his GiveSendGo thing, we know that he's coming for money. We should have, wherever the fuck he lives, I'm not going to look for it. I'm not going to announce it. But wherever the fuck he lives, the local indivisible group, right? A group of activists or the anti-fascist book club that lives near him should fucking camp outside his house and make his life fucking miserable. They should alert all of his fucking neighbors just in case they're not on the internet and they don't know who this fucking guy is because they don't watch YouTube, right? They should knock on every door within a fucking quarter mile of his house and let them know a fucking Nazi lives at whatever his address is, right? Yeah. We need to make these people's lives hell. This fucking incel thinks that he's had such a tough fucking life. No. When his fucking neighbors start treating him the way that he deserves to be treated, he'll fucking know what it's like to suffer. And that is what we as Americans need to be prepared to do to actually fight fucking fascism.
And I think it's worth pointing out, because it's important to point out, these are all legal things that Kris is describing. Do not break laws.
Right.
I'll go one step further. The next fucking Jubilee video I want to watch is me versus 20 fascists, but I have a fucking bar of soap and a tube sock, because these pieces of shit deserve it. They fucking deserve it. But as far as like actually doing a legitimate, have a conversation kind of a thing, if you want to do something like that, Jubilee is not the fucking place to do it.
No.
Somebody's got to do it better, though.
Everything about it is bad. Yeah. The fact that they use fucking people that find these nut jobs because they like them and they're nut jobs, that's bad. The fact they make money on it, that's bad. The fact that their fact checking is right-wing skewed and doesn't get announced is bad. It's the same problem that the debates had with fucking Trump and Biden.
Right.
That piece of shit got up there and lied and nothing happened. And that cannot be fucking allowed. Like, these pieces of shit should not get up and say shit. And then it's like, well, Mehdi said no, and then he said yes, and then we moved on. That's not how it should fucking go.
No, it needs to be done
Even
better.
Steven, right?
But I think, like, one of the critical, I agree with the majority of this, but one thing I don't agree with is the platforming element. I think the second we start saying, no, we shouldn't platform people, I mean, fascists are one thing, but like just generally, the second we start going, if I don't like what this person stands for, what they have to say, I'm not going to platform them, we do come off like we're suppressing speech. Whether we are or not, it doesn't matter. Strategically, it's stupid. And what we need to do is understand how to platform that person. Like we all fucking hated what Gavin Newsom did when he started his podcast and brought in fucking Bannon and all these other people, because he did it wrong. He brought them on and let them talk and didn't challenge them back and give them a consequence for coming in. If you platform them, great. Platform them right. Fucking get them. You can't just be like, oh yeah, let me sit here and listen to this guy. No, press them. That's what you have to do. The platform they fucking belong on is the gallows, and that's the way you have to deal with it. Like, you don't get to just lie with impunity, and, the average slip dick Joe idiot that listens to it and goes, oh, okay, Gavin Newsom said that was wrong, but I like the way the other guy talked better, so I'm going to believe what he believes. That's not how we fucking do this anymore.
No. Can I give you guys a quick origin story? Because I want to take this out of the theoretical and put it into the real and help people understand why I am the way that I am. Mm. In 2020, a buddy of mine called me up, a guy that I served with, and said, hey, Goldie, I infiltrated a neo-Nazi organization, and I want you to help me take them down. The pandemic had just happened. I graduated and was laid off in the same week. I went from having no fucking time on my hands to all the time on my hands in the world. So I infiltrated this organization. When the guy first said that this is a neo-Nazi organization, I thought he was exaggerating. I thought he was talking about like some MAGA crazies. When I got inside of Patriot Front, I came to realize that these people were actually reading Mein Kampf, that these people were trading the lessons of fascist historians and philosophers, right? I got to be inside of their basically open source version of Slack as they talked about deliberately contracting COVID. This is in 2020 when a lot of people were dying. Deliberately contracting COVID and then going into minority neighborhoods to deliberately spread it. That is who these people are. Ever since I have seen this shit, I have not been able to look away. And I wish that more Americans understood the threat that we live with every day, because these little creepy incel fucks are just waiting to be a school shooter or waiting to fucking show up at a Walmart with a fucking semi-automatic rifle. So when I talk about like identifying a fascist and letting all of his neighbors know, when I infiltrated the Patriot Front, I gave all of the screenshots. BuzzFeed published an article at the end of 2020 about how Patriot Front was looking to move on with his fascist ideas, regardless of whether or not Trump won that election. I went and found the leader of that organization's house, and I drew a circle on a map. Within a quarter mile, there were over 200 people who lived there. I printed out that BuzzFeed article, and I printed out a picture of this guy, and I let them know what he drives. And I paid out of my own pocket thousands of dollars for a commercial printer so I could print a fucking 10-page long BuzzFeed article, bought all the fucking stamps, wrote out the addresses myself, and mailed every one of them. That fascist had to fucking move because he was no longer welcome in the fucking neighborhood that he grew up. The leader of a fucking fascist organization, I disrupted his fucking life. That is the kind of cost that people need to impose on these motherfuckers. And it's not hard. It's not difficult. This fucking idiot on GiveSendGo, who by the way is on GiveSendGo's homepage right now. I just checked.
Yep.
Like he is their big trending fucking fundraiser right now. It's $35,000.
Right.
He's not hard to find. And I think that his neighbors need to make him understand he's not welcome anymore. He needs to find a new fucking place to live. And wherever he ends up next, those neighbors need to do the same fucking thing.
Well, and I think that's the opportunity that we have, at least in platforming the speech, is that like those people have to make that decision. You know, they have to want to not live in a neighborhood with a fascist. They have to call out those ideas. We do have courts, we do have police, and we do have laws. Speech, to your point, Zach, is very dicey, and that's why we have hate speeches in many cases allowed on campuses, because even the most liberal environments in the world, we don't really know how you can suss that out. Like, how can you separate hate speech that is abhorrent from hate speech that is that should be illegal or that physically threatens somebody? And I think that's typically the cutoff is, are you trying to get somebody to physically harm somebody else? And that's why obviously it's very important in all of our videos and very important here that we are not saying you have to physically harm people. There are legal ways to do this. Yeah. You just have to have to actually do it. You have to leave your house and you have to vocally reject what these people stand for.
And I think one of the challenges that we have had to get people to wake up is the reality that Americans their lives are relatively safe. Yeah. Right? There is no invading country. We have the best walls that we have are the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean.
Yep.
And we have the biggest military in the world. And while we see these like these movies where like the US is threatened, we always win. So when you tell somebody that the 1938 style shit from Germany is here, they don't believe it because they don't see it on their doorstep. Right. So I do agree that, like, you know, seeing that stuff, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of terrible shit. I worked at Everytown. We used to have to grab recordings of people getting shot because to make sure that the FBI had it off of social media. I've seen some horrible shit that like shook me to my core and made me like basically go under my desk for hours, because when you see that stuff, it's seared into your brains. But people do need to see it. The question is how we do it without them benefiting. And I think you're right. Like, I think we have to, you know, really pressure internet service providers to not fucking allow this website to go through their pipes. Like, there are ways to do this. We've done this with other sites before. Like, I mean, Kris knows this better than I do, but like, we have gone after neo-Nazi sites and gotten them shut down before. And if these guys are going to put like these pieces of shit on their homepage, they are a hate group. Full stop.
Oh, 100%.
That platform is a hate haven and needs to be
sue. And if
I mean, go read the comments on Jubilee. There's a lot of there's a lot of upvoted ones that are, you know, good, and then there's a lot of really fucking bad ones.
Yep.
People, I mean, they turned comments off on I forget the woman's name that was in Minnesota who used the N-word, but they turned comments off on hers because it was so full of hate speech. And so then people started donating money, and in the name field, in the name field, they would put in
terrible shit, just
racist,
shit.
Yeah, truly. I mean, and so you're just like, there's no way around it. That's what's happening. But there was a massive compound, I believe it was in northern Idaho, like back in the 80s or 90s, and it was
Ruby Ridge.
I think so, yeah. And the way there's a huge compound. This actually flared up again recently when the firefighters got shot. That was in the news, and it was related to that because it happened to be on the anniversary. I read I saw it. It was like a TikTok video. Somebody had done the work, and nobody was reporting this, but the attack was on the anniversary of when they were like evicted from this compound back in the I think the early 90s, late 80s. But the point I'm making is they were sued and they were just sued and sued and sued in civil courts, and they just lost and lost and lost like Trump did until they had no money and they had to just evacuate their whole compound, and they all just disbanded. They went to other states. So if for no other reason, or not if for no other reason, but if that's all it comes to, if these people just get sued enough and they lose those suits because a judge says, yes, like your words caused harm to other people and it caused damages, they repair those damages with money. And like to Kris's point, that can be enough. You just deprive them of the resources they need to keep being terrible.
Yeah, and let's talk about an enabler right now. Cloudflare provides security and internet services to GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo right now on their homepage has a self-described fascist making $35,000 because he said racist shit to a minority's face. Many people listening to this podcast right now, if you have a website, if your business has a website, there's a good chance that Cloudflare may be part of your infrastructure. You as a customer, you as a user of websites, even if you don't own a website, if you use websites regularly that use Cloudflare, you either reach out to the website that you visit, or you reach out to Cloudflare if you're a direct customer, and you say, you need to stop providing services to fucking fascists, to self-described Nazis, right? As we've been sitting here, when I go silent, I'm looking at what's going on this website. I just searched Proud Boys. I found over $100,000 in just one GiveSendGo campaign for fucking Proud Boys, for people who assaulted police officers.
Who handles the payments?
So Stripe has denied the website. Looks like Stripe is in their code. Stripe has denied processing the payments. I have not been able to figure out if Stripe is telling the truth, who it is processing their payments. But these are things that we, like, that's a good question, Luke. These are things that we as consumers, as everyday Americans, can do to act against this financial infrastructure that supports self-described fascists and Nazis.
So with your dollar.
I'll tell you what we'll do, and I'm just making this up on the fly, but we're going to do it. You know, when you get this tomorrow on Thursday, we'll make sure that there is a way for you to either contact Cloudflare or some other option. So stay tuned for that, because I think that's the way to do it, is to just say no. Like, and I'm exercising my First Amendment right and saying that I don't think you should do that. And if you don't stop doing it, then I'm not going to give you any business either. And the beauty is there are more of us than them. They are just a loud, vocal minority. So
bunch of fucking idiots.
Dude, there's crazy shit in there. Like, I just started looking at it during this. It's insane.
Awful shit.
It's insane.
Awful.
There's one here where a guy literally has a whole thing about, like, the title is "Help Me Take Out Carmelo Anthony," and it's the whole thing is a pitch.
What?
Yeah, it says, I'll read it. Austin Metcalf's family hasn't seen justice for thugs' action. Random black people keep defending the murderer just because of race. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Proud Boys, Klan members, all of you, I need you.
God.
Meet me at
Holy
Little Daddy's
shit.
Gumbo Bar in Galveston, Texas, and we
Don't
must
platform
take
that
this
shit.
motherfucker out. I'm just saying, that is allowed on this, like, a mat. He's literally getting, like, let me kill this guy. Let's go kill a guy. Help me raise money for it. That's insane.
that's actually illegal.
That's illegal. How is that
that
on
is
there?
illegal.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane that this is on
Okay,
here.
take a screenshot of that.
Well, it's
Take a
also got
screenshot of that.
$0, so at least there's that. But it's
There's-
just,
But they let it up.
It's there. It's there.
it's there.
Like,
The
you
fact
have
that
to
it's
go
on there
through
is
like an
insane.
application to do
And they
that.
are liable for what is on their platform.
Yeah.
They
Well,
have
and
to-
there might not be a
well,
real-time
maybe not,
filter, or if
Well,
their
they need
intake
one.
form is just like, if their intake form is just reactive, like, we'll review it as
Sign this and if,
needed.
to say that
right?
we
In the
get
chat.
3%.
Yeah, but if
Exactly.
Carmelo Anthony or his family see that and they go to a lawyer, like, they've got that's a case.
That's
It's
a-
insane.
It's not even a
fact that
hypothetical.
they
There
should.
is insane.
And they should. And so, Carmelo Anthony, I'm sure you're a listener of the Find Out podcast. Go sue these fuckers, because it's time.
Speaking of
insane.
stupid people saying stupid shit,
Ooh,
Nice pivot.
did you guys hear that Obama is going to get thrown in prison for seditious
Jesus Christ.
treason? Like, who
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
is talking about 8, 12, 10 fucking years ago? Who fucking cares? Like, that's my...
Nobody more desperate than a corner
oh my
pedophile.
God, dude.
well,
Insane.
Fuck.
we all know why, right?
Yeah, he's
Like,
distracting.
That's all it is.
You know what Fox News was talking about the other night? Hillary's emails.
Of course.
They're literally
Nice.
running the greatest hits because they're so terrified of the Jeffrey Epstein story that will not die. The fact that Speaker Johnson is literally adjourning the House early.
He closed
They're
Congress
getting
early.
6-week summer vacation because he doesn't want to have a vote on releasing the Epstein files. So
But the
they're doing all
government
of this shit.
waste.
Government,
Government waste.
like that. So those who don't know, like this is mostly on Twitter, which is basically the dumpiest,
Fucking cesspool.
shittiest platform on earth. But I was looking at it the other day because people were telling me about it, and all of these like right wing grifters are like, the law's coming. They're going to arrest Obama. Donald Trump posted an AI video of Barack Obama being arrested.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know what the one missing part of this is? What is the law that was broken?
Right. I don't know. There isn't one.
There's nothing.
Show me a judge, show me a jury who's going to look at anything that happened and go, yes, definitely. He's got the fucking immunity ruling. They never understand that everything they do is a double-edged sword. Like
the dildo of consequences is always unlubed. It comes back around every goddamn time. The funniest part for me is that there's fucking video of Trump being arrested. Like Obama should just fucking post that. Immediately post
Well,
it.
Obama finally responded. Like
he did.
He was, because it had gotten so bad. They were just like, this is completely ridiculous. But Tulsi Gabbard, which is basically Putin's puppet, who is now head of national intelligence for us, yay, says that she's got this bombshell report, and they're all like Matt Taibbi, who used to be a real journalist, who has now just turned into a right-wing grifter, is like, I was proven right. And I'm like,
what do you do? Right.
What? I don't understand, because
I still don't get what they think he did. Like, what
they
is it?
think he, so
the Russiagate thing.
No, I know, but I mean, like what specifically did he do that's against the law? Like, that's where I'm like, I don't get what they're claiming. Like, I understand.
He weaponized the DOJ.
Treason.
Well, I know, I understand that, but like they're
treason is apparently like a blanket word. They can just say it whatever they want it to me.
Because it's like,
do you think Trump could spell treason? Like, if he was he was put to it?
Oh my God.
No. So what I looked at this a lot the other day, because I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Right.
And what it is that they are conflating two different things, and they're combining them to confuse people. One, Russia meddled in our election. That has been proven.
Yeah.
They did Facebook groups. They created Black Lives Matter events. They did things that, like, there's payments in Facebook in rubles that they weren't very sophisticated about it, or like they just did it.
We should be clear that meddling is not like changing votes. It's a trying to change
the next point.
Right.
But that's the next
point.
part.
Right.
The second point is that when Obama asked for that assessment from James Clapper and all of those people, they came back and said they did not change any votes.
Right.
But what the Republicans are doing are merging them together to confuse people and saying, see, Russia didn't fix our elections. And they use their words relatively carefully,
right?
But they don't talk about the influence
that
it had and the sowing of discontent. And if you're a social media user and you get these weird, crazy responses to people with like 12 followers and
Russian
like
bot.
no picture, it's a Russian bot.
That's
or
us
North
every
Korean
day.
or Iranians.
I get a million of them.
Yeah, it happened all day, every day.
My TikTok inbox is full. Hi, don't mean to interrupt. Oh,
Delete.
Fuck off.
Delete.
But
that, so they have, and there's a whole right-wing grift network that has survived on elevating this issue over time. The law's coming.
Yeah.
But I just
2
don't know,
weeks.
like the Epstein files.
They're not going to arrest him
coming.
because they can't. So I don't know, like, what's the end game? Did they just forget?
Wait,
move
is that
on?
true though? Because they're in charge, couldn't they? Even though there's no legal basis for it, couldn't they just be like, fuck it, I don't care. This is the new legal basis. That's the scary part for me. Is like, I don't think
like
that will
FBI?
happen. But yeah, like the FBI is run by fucking Kash Patel. You think he's against this shit? We'd love to see it.
I don't know.
Could they do it? I don't know.
It would end very poorly.
The presidential immunity decision passes down to any recipient of a presidential order.
Right.
So Donald Trump could make the argument that anything that he issues an order on is in service of his role.
It's an official
act.
Right. It's an official act, right? So if he could empower Kash Patel to fucking do anything, to, I don't know, fill concentration camps, and that's an official act.
Late on that.
So, right?
Well, I mean,
like they can literally fucking do anything. And the Roberts Court is never going to say, oops, we're wrong. Like, they don't give a fuck.
That's it. It's which battle do they want to pick? Because, like, yeah, he could try to do that, right? Like he's tried to do everything else, but they don't have a DOJ that can battle every front all of the time. That's why
they're bleeding associates.
They pulled the right. I know people are leaving. They pulled the Marines out of Los Angeles without saying shit about it. Yeah. They've got they were
playing video games the whole fucking time.
The class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
The class action lawsuit that shut down the birthright citizenship order again is just going forward. Like, he whined about it, but then he immediately went over and started whining about something else. And then, of course, Epstein consumed him. So there's only so much oxygen in the room for them to do shit. And honestly, like, it shouldn't come down to that, hey, don't worry, he can only fuck over so many people in one 24-hour period. But like, that is literally where we're at. And that's why the Epstein story is so good, is he can't stop. He can't get away from it. It's just this cloud of hell that he brought on himself. Mm-hmm. And now it's just going to hang over him.
So I don't think he's going to arrest Barack Obama for a couple of reasons. And I'm going to lay them out. One, I think, first of all, he is a coward and he won't actually like do the thing he said he's going to do. But two, I think he plays this game where he does just enough fascism to get his base all excited, but he doesn't always usually go over the line. Yeah. Because I think if he arrested Barack Obama, first of all, the black support from him would go from 10% to zero overnight, but also every other group. Like every independent.
People like Barack Obama.
He is the most popular politician in the country to this day.
100%.
Yes. Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually
technically more. Yeah,
true.
I think Michelle Obama's right up there too. So
she's not a politician.
True. If he arrested Barack Obama, there would be million+ protests in every city
instantly
across the country.
Right away.
The night
everywhere.
The night it happened.
The White House would 100%. Be surrounded.
Yes.
Like this. That is a step. And I don't even know how they would argue. Like,
they can't do any of it.
They're not going to do it.
My thing wasn't like, I think it's going to happen. It was just like, it's theoretically,
it could,
because they control all the levers to make it happen. Would they? I'm like, probably not. But
it's like if they went.
And I think that's an important distinction to call out, because you guys see the comments. I get the comments constantly like, we're never going to have midterms. America's fucked. Everything is fucked. The sky's
falling. When you start from that kind of a premise, you can reach any kind of fucking conclusion you want.
Exactly. Like, just because A could equal B, could equal C, could equal D, doesn't mean that chain of events is likely. And in fact, with every layer of a conspiracy, it gets more and more to a magnitude more unlikely that thing is going to happen. And Trump does things like this. He picks battles actually fairly strategically, and then he uses about 12,000 other things that look like battles that are distractions or that swirl up chaos. Yep. This is obviously very much one of the distraction things, that the things that where he does the battles he is picking are consistently around immigration and the courts. Those are the battles that when he goes in on those, he is trying to make 5 or 10% incremental progress, and then distractions, then something else, and then he comes back to it. He's trying to normalize deporting people to Sudan, for example, things like that. And so that's what I'm looking for. Like, no, he's not going to do anything with Obama. He's trying to not talk about Epstein.
Right. He is what's interesting though is that there's been some polling that's come out. He's underwater on immigration now.
Oh people
like he's underwater. Like, and I'm not talking like 49, 51. I'm talking like 35. It's significant.
Huge shift.
You can't he's been lying since the beginning that he was elected for this immigration shit. That's not what he was elected for. It's been a fucking lie since the day he got inaugurated. He was elected because slip dicks don't understand how the fucking economy works. That's all it is.
Yes.
And he's not fixing that either. The amount of fuckwits who are like, well, we've brought in so much money with tariffs. It's your fucking money.
It's your money. Taxed.
Yeah.
You idiot.
General Motors just reported they lost $1 billion because they, in profits, I think the last quarter, because they ate the tariffs on behalf of their customers. It's like, dude, don't eat the tariffs. Let it come true.
Did you say GM?
GM lost $1 billion in court. I think it was quarterly profits.
It was 32% of the profits.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Gone. But
that'll change. They'll start doing it. They'll start.
They're not going to do that forever,
right? They'll start having.
You can't take $1 billion a quarter forever.
I mean, Walmart prices are up as much as 50% at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're not.
Inflation's up.
That's despite Trump fucking wringing his clammy hands at him and telling him to eat the tariffs.
It's all going to go south.
The funny part about this was that it just completely blows up the suggestion. And I know we have some friends that would disagree with us on this, but that the Tea Party was about taxation. Because if it was about taxation, you wouldn't be very happy about a tariff because
Right.
you just fucking
You're paying a tax.
you gave the federal government hundreds of dollars without even realizing it,
Right.
because it came in a different way,
and they
but
didn't
it's
label
just-
it.
Yeah, it's
and
just
they
an
didn't label it.
indirect
But they're
tax
just
on
like,
people.
America made like a $90 billion profit. First of all, no. Second of all, like, yeah, we just raised.
You
Wouldn't
paid
you
it.
rather us raise
paid it.
taxes on the millionaires and billionaires rather you paying it? Like, they just, I mean,
I'll give
It's a
them
call.
credit. They figured out how to make 99, the 99% cheer for getting taxed,
I mean,
and without even realizing
And
it.
it's a consumption. It's a regressive consumption tax.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
this
they
is
don't
the
understand
worst
it.
fucking kind of tax. It's basically just a massive sales tax on
They're
all of the
announcing-
most affordable shit because that's the shit we import.
well, I mean,
And he's announcing
Republicans-
these fucking deals where he's like, "Oh well, Japan's gonna buy
15%
our cars
tax,
now."
Yeah.
What?
No,
you
they're
think,
fucking
you think the
not.
people in
They're
Japan want to drive a fucking F-150? You
You could-
absolute imbecile.
No, it's
They don't
crazy.
Have you
fit
seen the
anywhere
streets
there.
in Tokyo?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Republicans, I like to call them underthinkers because, like, I saw this video from this.
That's really
Zero
generous.
thinkers.
Well,
Non-thinkers.
I'll pay it off because I saw this, I don't know how it got it on my For You page, but this like former Democrat, now a Republican lady talking about, why Republicans are better. And it was essentially like Republicans use logic by looking what's in front of their face and
Oh,
that's
dear.
their perspective.
Oh.
And there are issues where
Common
like,
sense solutions.
well, because on this, I'll give you a great example of how this plays out. So on the surface, if you were to say raising the minimum wage, it would hurt a business, right? It would make the business bottom line shittier. On the surface, that sounds logical, but when you go a layer beneath it, it actually makes your employees work harder because they're
They
better
can spend
paid,
more
and
money.
and the company does better. Like there's a billion case studies.
Crazy how that works.
Right. It's the same thing in all these things. Like, for example, what we're just talking about, where you go, all right, we have a system where taxing the rich is bad, even though it's good, but to them it's bad because they think, oh, it's going to screw up the economy. To them, yeah, 1-to-1, you draw a logical line without digging beneath it. Sure, that could make sense. Businesses might not be in great shape if they're getting taxed more. But when you go beneath the surface just a teensy tiny bit, whoops, the data doesn't bear that information.
Whoops, you're fucked.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But for them, they prey on that top level of logic where
Mhm.
it's like, doesn't it seem logical? And everybody goes, of course it does. I'm a common sense voter. It's
He
like, okay,
loves the poorly educated.
right, that's
See,
the thing.
Zach, what you were describing is 21-year-old libertarian me.
Yes.
You were describing
Libertarians are just people on the
the
left who haven't
young
read enough
man
books.
who,
Yeah.
as a proud registered Republican, was voting for Ron Paul
Yeah.
Right.
in the primaries,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
and not understanding why winning the caucus with a total blowout didn't translate to primary wins.
Right.
Like you are describing who I was.
I was too. I mean, I was a Republican, and a lot of this shit, I thought the exact same thing. Because on the surface, it sounds great. Then you're like, whoops, I'm fucking wrong about everything.
And circling back to the Jubilee thing, they had a dude on there. I think it was with Sam Setter when he was like he could not grasp the concept that governmental entities do not pay fucking taxes.
I saw that.
They
That was
fucking
insane.
operate
Crazy.
on congressional funding. You absolute fuckwit. But that's the kind of people that they bring around.
Well, and part of it is that, like, look, like Republicans look at the world in black and white, and it's gray.
Yes.
And so it's good, evil,
100%.
bad, good, whatever. And then it's just, that's the way it is. America is great. Everyone else sucks. And it's
Right.
like,
Black
okay,
or
but then
white,
when you,
skin color.
but if
That's
you-
another way.
Black or
Yeah.
white, right? Literally, right? And the problem with our media ecosystem now is that, like, it's all sound bites. So cable news, which is the worst thing ever, you can't have that conversation. That's why Republicans excel at it so much,
Yeah.
because it's just like, this is good and you're advocating bad. And then, like, I would have to spend 8 minutes to try to explain to you why you're wrong.
Right.
And like, we're 3 commercials in. So like, it's just, no one is hearing it. Right. Like, you're just like,
Yeah.
I'm still going and they've cut me off, but it's a real problem. But that's why it's so important, guys, to support the Find Out podcast.
Love
I
that
like it.
pivot.
I love it.
Yep.
Hey, while we're at it, like I think we haven't spent enough time talking about how the Congress, the Republican Congress, is now using the clawback method. They're
Yeah.
they're
Oh, the rescission bill.
agreeing with Democrats on so-called bipartisan
Mm.
bills, right?
Mhm.
The bills get passed, they get signed into laws, and then the Republicans say, "Oh, actually, we're going to take back all of the concessions that we made." So from now on, Democrats in office are finally just learning this. From now on, any bipartisan bill is not actually bipartisan because the Republicans are going to go
Yeah.
after the fact and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we do
Never
not
mind.
like educated Americans, so we're going to eliminate the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, or NPR,
Right.
or PBS, right?
Yep.
So no more Sesame Street for poor kids, because they don't want kids learning how to fucking count. Is that their point?
Pretty much.
Right? That's
Probably,
what
yeah.
Sesame Street is.
They don't want it. They don't want an educated society because
If
it's harder
if
to
those
doesn't
kids-
manipulate.
benefit them.
It's
if
harder
those
to
kids could
manipulate.
count, they could subtract 1.1 billion in savings from 3.4 trillion dollars in debt and figure out that
Wait a minute.
cutting
Wait a
1.1
minute.
billion
Wait a
Uh-oh.
minute
from
here.
the Corporation for Public Broadcasting is not good math.
Well, he spent like a fuckload of money on golf by the
Yeah,
it's
300
just
million.
ridiculous. 300 million, and it's 1.1
No,
billion.
I totally agree, Chris. We could probably do a whole nother episode on the rescission package, but this is why we got after Chuck Schumer. This is why everybody was so fucking
Captain
angry at Chuck
capitulation,
Schumer.
you mean?
They needed a filibuster-proof vote so that they could get that bill through, and that's why all the handful of Democrats voted for it. They needed 60, but a rescission bill, for some fucking insane reason, only needs a 51 vote majority to pass. So now Democrats, every Democrat knows, everyone in the Senate knows, when the Republicans say, yes, we will fund all of these things if you come along for the ride, now we all know, because they just did it, they will take back everything that they agreed to, and the Democrats now have absolutely no reason to ever capitulate and vote in favor of a Republican budget again.
And also, I guess they're considering those budget bills, which is why it works with a simple majority. But then I want Democrats, when they take power again, to get rid of the oil subsidies. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You need 51 votes. Get rid of them.
Yep.
That they are the most profitable companies in the world. The government should not be funding them. There's a place to save some cash. So, let's start fighting fire with fire.
Yes,
Anyway,
definitely.
I
There's
mean,
no
Elon
reason-
Musk should not be a defense contractor after the midterm.
no.
There's never another time. There should never be a time that Dems play by the fucking rule book ever again.
What-
You tell me you're going to get in
Well, there
and
is
just
no-
do
there
shit
is
and get
no
it
rule
done.
book.
Yeah, but they operate like there is.
I think they'll have
Oh.
a committee hearing to decide if we need to follow the rule book.
Yeah.
So
You
we
know,
got
Amazon
some.
gets a ton of tax write-offs too. I think the Democrats should just say,
Holy
nope.
shit.
See you
There's,
never.
Yeah,
there's some
yeah,
crazy breaking news.
Yeah, we got some
on
breaking
that.
news, guys.
I just saw the Bondi thing.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Who
it's
wants?
fucked.
Zach, go for it. What
I
is it?
mean, Pam Bondi told Donald Trump he's in the Epstein files. That's what she said.
Ooh.
You're so fucked now.
That's insane.
Uh-oh. And now we know.
Why did
We
that
knew
get this
before. But
Where
notification? What the
is
fuck?
Oh, we
this?
got a
I just got a
text it to us.
text.
I
just
got a text.
text about
Yep,
it.
the DNC. Oh,
Jesus
you're so
Christ.
fucked now.
oh
Wow.
man.
That's
I
Oh, what a
mean-
good way to end.
Oh.
Oh, what a good way to
I'm-
end.
I'm not
Oh, it
seeing
was
it
broken by the
anywhere.
Wall Street Journal
By
a
the Wall
fucking
Street
half
Journal.
hour ago. I got the text too. I
No
just didn't
wonder.
see it.
Oh, no
Oh
wonder.
my
There's no
God.
wonder he was so pissed at them. That's why he was pissed about the first story, because they were probably had a bunch of. They were probably talking
They
about
knew.
more than that story. Because that story about him writing that letter, like the birthday
was
card,
bad,
yeah, it's
but not that
stupid
bad.
and bad, but like it's not like a deal breaker. Pam Bondi saying that Epstein, like, so
Justice
guys,
Department told Trump in May that his name is among many in the Epstein file. So we don't know exactly what this
right.
means.
We don't know the context.
I'll read the story.
necessarily.
We don't know.
I know what it means. That
I
dude
know
fucked
what
a kid.
I know what I'm sure it means. But hey, Pam Bondi is gonna. I trust her now to carry out justice for Americans.
well, let me tell you this. This is why the Democrats need to take the House back next year, because if they take the House back next year, they could subpoena her and drag her up,
Yeah.
Yes.
put her under oath,
She'd
and make her
fucking lie.
lie. Yeah, but okay, then we
Then
go
you have
after
to.
her for lying.
And
Yep.
when those crimes, I don't know what the statute of limitations is on the things that are in the Epstein files, but I'm guessing it's
Not
open-ended.
been. Yeah, I'm guessing
And-
it's not been long enough.
Well,
And I'm-
New York
and-
State used to have a statute of limitations on lawsuits like, why can't I think of her name, who successfully sued Trump for penetration.
E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah,
Agent
Agent
Carroll.
Carroll.
Like
Mhm.
that the statute of limitations had passed for that kind of sexual assault. New York State was like, oh, hey, we have a major fucking problem here. Donald Trump is not the only, according to the letter of the law and a judge in New York State, Donald Trump is a rapist and we need to treat him like one.
Right.
So it's not just Donald Trump, the rapist, who was punished with a massive civil loss in a lawsuit, but it was tons of other sexual predators who'd never seen justice. So even if there are federal statutes of limitations that, you know, can't get changed through Congress, individual states could remove their statutes of limitations for sexual misconduct or any other criminal behavior that Donald
And
Trump has ever
all of these
engaged
things took place well before he was president.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in New York, because I was actually there, and I'm proud to say that I helped get this bill passed. We changed the statute of limitations. It used to be 6 months that they would keep rape kits. This isn't really related to this, but now it's 25 years. So like a lot of these states have changed their laws because it takes long. So, you know, there's like sometimes it takes people a long time to, you know, be ready to talk about it. But man, that's
woof.
a bombshell. Well, we're going to have to, unfortunately, we all have hard stops, and I think all of us are probably
back to
itching to go
moving.
do videos.
Yeah, for sure.
But before we do that, I got to do my plugs. So just
Plug it.
bear with us for another second.
Yeah.
Please support us on our Substack. This is not a free endeavor. We are trying to build a real company to hold, you know, Republicans accountable. So if you go to findoutpodcast.substack.com, it's $6 a month. That's findoutpodcast.substack.com. Also, we have a wonderful variety of merchandise for sale at findoutpodcast.com. And next week, we probably will be able to announce some new merch that people are asking for. But there's some great stuff there. Go check it out. It's all union made in America. And until then, go have fun reading about this Epstein list and Trump being on it, and make some noise about it.
I'm making a video right now.
I'm going to the truck.
Help News Corp fund this lawsuit by subscribing to Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, something tells me that lawsuit's not going to go through because that discovery is going to be a pain in the ass.
There's an alternative to paying Rupert Murdoch. You can just search the archives. You go to internetarchives.org. Like you can find free versions of Wall Street Journal's articles. I'd encourage people not to think that Rupert Murdoch is your friend or that he should have your money right now.
That's right. Yeah, don't give him any money. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Tuesday.